Week 3 is no more. We're on to week 4. Let's talk football.
You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You'll never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's ball like Barry. You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's ball like Barry, ball like Barry, ball like Barry. It's ball like Barry.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time to get into week 4 of the NFL season, and we're getting started on Thursday night with a competition between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals coming off of a last-minute defeat against Mac Jones and the 49ers. Meanwhile, the Seahawks were riding high after stomping a mud hole into the Saints. It's going to be a good game. You got two great young quarterbacks looking to submit themselves and step into that next level. You got Kyler Murray on the Cardinals. You got Sam Darnold on the Seahawks. Sam Darnold has the edge when it comes to passing yardage with 663 to Kyler Murray's 542. They both have thrown 4 touchdowns. However, Sam Darnold has thrown more interceptions. He's thrown 2 to Kyler's 1. When it comes to running the ball, the Cardinals have a problem. The only person on the Cardinals with a rushing touchdown is James Conner. James Conner will not be playing football for anyone for the rest of this year as he's placed on IR with an ankle injury. Meanwhile, Kenneth Walker is doing great things. He's got, 3 touchdowns? Yep. 3 touchdowns off 39 carries. Kenneth Walker back to form. He's his old self again. Great to see it. They got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone that doesn't involve passing. They got to find a way to get Trey Benson open. Kyler Murray's got to do his thing and get out of the pocket, get down the field, and do a little bit of running. He's going to have to. Otherwise, the Seahawks are going to carve him up. I really don't know how the Cardinals are going to do this game, considering the injury report is way more damning when you look at the Cardinals. They got key people like the corner, Will Johnson, the rookie out of Michigan. You got 2 offensive linemen out, Kelvin Beachum and their best offensive lineman, Paris Johnson, listed as questionable. They're both going to be game time decisions, but as of right now, they're listed as questionable. Meanwhile, the worst person on the Seattle Seahawks injury report is what? Zach Charbonnet, RB2. Kenneth Walker can run this thing by himself. He does not need Zach Charbonnet back there to spell him. Yeah, it's great to have a guy who can give you a rest, but Kenneth Walker can do it himself just fine. And if you have Will Johnson out, I don't know who's going to cover Jackson Smith-Njigba. Buda Baker is going to try his best, but if he commits to covering JSN, then Cooper Kupp's going to get open. If you commit to covering those 2 guys, they got a great guy. And what's little buddy's name? Hold on. What's his name? Torrey Horton. Watch Torrey Horton highlights from last week. He was punt returning. He's great in the receiving game. Torrey Horton is a great young man. He has an eye. He has a, what's it called, Madden, ball carrier vision. Torrey Horton has great ball carrier vision. He can see blocks develop, and he runs right through them. He weaves and wobbles like a snake. Torrey Horton is dangerous. They got themselves a good young weapon up there in Seattle. And Sam Darnold is doing fine. He's heaving the rock as best as he can. Jackson Smith-Njigba is one of the best young receivers in the league. Opposite him, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Marv, except the Maserati has been in the garage. They need him to take the car out the garage. Kyler Murray's got to get Maserati Marv going. Unfortunately, Zay Jones is out with concussion. So it's Maserati Marv, Michael Wilson, and Trey McBride. And, dude, you need another person to throw to. I don't think Greg Dortch is going to be the one to do it. Trey McBride's going to do the best he can, but especially if you got offensive linemen that are banged up, he's going to have to stay back and block a little bit. If Trey McBride stays back to block, he can't be used in the passing game, which is where he's the best at. Trey McBride with the football in his hands is a nuclear weapon. You've seen him hurdle people. You've seen him truck people. You've seen him put feet in people's faces. When you get Trey McBride going, you win football games. Kyler Murray has gotten so lucky with getting these young offensive talents that he's really running out of excuses. You got one of the best college wide receivers we've ever seen. You got one of the best young tight ends in the league. You got a good offensive line when they're healthy. And then you got a good defense. Calais Campbell, Josh Sweat, people like Mac Wilson Jr., who leads the team in tackles. Also, Baron Browning, Zaven Collins, good dual threat defensive guys that can rush the passer and also drop back into coverage, take away a tight end, take away a running back who sneaks out the backfield. You still got the ageless wonder Buda Baker, probably future Hall of Famer, depending on who you talk to. This team is good. You got to win games, and you got to win divisional games, and you got to win divisional games at home. The Seattle Seahawks have a 7-game win streak against the Cardinals. I'm hoping that the Cardinals can pull it out, and maybe I almost I almost called them Alabama because they're red and white. But this team is not going to be wearing red and white. They're going to be the first team to debut the Nike rivalry uniforms. They're going to be wearing their desert copper uniforms. It's got a sandy background. It's got the copper numbers. It has the Arizona State flag insignia on the side. You got the tan helmets with the subdued logo and the nice pants. They're going to look clean. I'm hoping they get a little swag to them. They can put up a fight because we all want a competitive game. The Cardinals are favored in this 52% to Seattle's 48%. But like I said, Seattle has a 7-game win streak. It takes a lot to break those streaks. NFC West football is looking like it's going to be a slugfest this year. You got Mac Jones holding the fort down for Brock Purdy. The Rams are no slouch. The only person out for the Rams is Sean McVay with his foot injury. They're firing on all cylinders. You got to win games in this division, and it's going to have to happen early. Otherwise, you're going to be falling behind these teams because this division is full of winners, as you can tell. Both the Cardinals and the Seahawks stomped a mud hole in the Saints. I am going to pick the Seahawks to win this one, especially with the way the injury report looks on top of their best running back being down. We don't know if Trey Benson can carry the load because Trey Benson, the ball's in your court. The food is on your plate. It is your responsibility to eat. I'm hoping he can do it. He's a good power runner. He's a good receiving back. He can get in and out of the tackle box. He can do good things when all the stars align. We've seen him do good things spelling James Conner, but now he's the primary back, and we don't know if he can do it. Meanwhile, Seattle has great offensive weapons. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker, who is, when healthy, one of the best running backs in the league. I'm not worried about the quarterbacks in this game. They're going to do fine. It's the people they get the ball to. I haven't really gone over Seattle's defense. Let's do that real quick. They have a great coverage linebacker in Ernest Jones IV. He leads the team in tackles. He's got 2 TFLs. He has a PBU. He has an interception. He's getting all over the place. He's got a nose for the football. If you have the football, he is going to find you and he's going to hurt you. Then they got one of the best cornerback duos in the league, Reek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. Also got a good safety in Julian Love. Big Cat down there in the front, crashing down on the run, making people cry. The young defensive tackle, Byron Murphy II, crashing down the run, making people cry. If they can set the edge on Kyler Murray, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. He hasn't really gotten going yet, but Boye Mafe is a good pass rusher. He can beat your number one if he gets a couple reps in against them. Keep a lookout for him to have a breakout game because he is a breakout player. He just hasn't had his game yet. Also got DeMarcus Lawrence, who he's getting up there in age, but he's still got it. I just don't see how the Arizona offense contends with all of these defensive weapons that Seattle has. They dropped 40 on the Saints for a reason. The Saints might be the worst team in football, but they're still a professional football team. All right. And these teams both played the Saints. Guess who won by more? The Seahawks did. I'm going to give this slight edge to the Seahawks. However, I may be wrong. It is in Arizona. The Arizona Stadium is big and loud, and they're proud, especially when they got a packed house. It's going to be a good game, though. Great way to kick off Week 4 Thursday Night Football. After Thursday Night Football, we got ourselves a Sunday morning football game as the Steelers and the Vikings are going to go to war in Ireland. Aaron Rodgers trying to reestablish himself as one of the best in the league, going against Carson Wentz, the backup to J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, I think they got lucky in their win last week. They got 5 takeaways from the Patriots and really didn't capitalize on any of them. Aaron Rodgers made a couple of good throws in the end of the day. They got to get the running game going as well. Kenneth Gainwell, Jaylen Warren, they're trying to do it. I'd like to see Caleb Johnson get some more touches, man. He's a good rookie. He had that bad, terrible mistake in the special teams against the Seahawks. I'm a DK Metcalf truther. I want DK to drop 200 on somebody's heads. Might as well be against one of my team's division rivals in the Vikings. Meanwhile, in the Vikings, you still got Jay Jettas. Carson Wentz proved to be doing just fine against the Bengals last week. However, the Steelers' defense is much better than the Bengals' defense is. Bengals' defense is Trey Hendrickson and who? Meanwhile, Steelers defense, you got TJ Watt, you got Cam Hayward, you got Jalen Ramsey, you got Patrick Queen. Lots of people on the defense for Carson Wentz to worry about. But he's got a week under his belt. He has one of the best offensive weapons in Justin Jefferson. Jordan Mason is proving to be a good running back one. Aaron Jones being out hasn't been too much of a problem for the Vikings. Can't forget TJ Hawkinson, one of the best receiving tight ends in the league. And they also got Adam Thielen back. I bet he gets going soon. He had to reestablish himself in the offense, but Kevin O'Connell knows how to use him. He's going to be just fine. Then on the defense, what's kid's name? What's Buddy's name that had the best defensive game ever last week? Isaiah Rodgers. Isaiah Rodgers, defensive back, got in the end zone twice against the Bengals. He's the reason why that score got ran up. Keep an eye on Isaiah Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to look off his brother across the street in Isaiah. Great pass rusher on the Vikings. Andrew Van Ginkel, the long-haired wonder, the second coming of Clay Matthews. I hate to say it, but it's true. He leads the team in sacks with 2. He also has 2 TFLs, 2 passes defense. Bro gets everywhere. Who leads the team in tackles? Is it? It's not him. Thank God. Okay. Leading the team in tackles is Ivan Pace Jr., one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFC North. I think the Steelers will be able to overcome the Vikings in this one. I'm going to take the Steelers simply because Aaron Rodgers has that veteran mindset. He knows how to deal with young corners like Isaiah Rodgers. And then I don't think the pass rush is going to be able to get through the Steelers' offensive line. It's been kind of shoddy, but I think they can handle kind of an aged pass rush. What's the best pass rushing weapons the Vikings have? Jonathan Allen? Andrew Van Ginkel's good, but he's not really a scary type of guy. If they dedicate 2 guys to him every time, they'll be able to take him out of the game. Javon Hargrave is nice, but I like him in the run game a lot. He can crash down on the run, and if the Steelers just decide to dot you up, then you don't got to worry about the run game. The Steelers have really good pass-catching running backs. Jaylen Warren's a great pass-catching running back, so is Kenneth Gainwell. Let's go over the Steelers defense real quick. Patrick Queen leads the team in tackles. Dude, he is a heat-seeking missile when it comes to finding whoever has the football and putting wood on him. Pause. He has 2 TFLs, 2 passes defense. He's doing great. TJ Watt is going to make your life a living hell, Carson. And if he doesn't, Cam Hayward will. And if he doesn't, Alex Highsmith will. You see where I'm going with this? They have a lot of guys that can pressure the quarterback, if not put the quarterback on his ass. TJ Watt can also break down the run. He leads the team in TFLs with 4. He also has a pass breakup. Dude's everywhere. Also, if you think you're going to get past the pass rush, unfortunately, Jalen Ramsey is still really good at the game of football, and he's going to be taking away your number 1. So him and Jettis are going to be fighting all day. It's going to be one of those prime time mashups. This is one of the. I remember when Devontae Adams and Jalen Ramsey were going word for word, bar for bar. Devontae won, by the way. Just saying. It was back when Jalen was on the Rams. This is going to be one of those games where Jalen Ramsey is probably going to lose his mind if he gets beat over the top by Justin Jefferson or Jalen Naylor, and it was his assignment. Watch that matchup closely. That's going to be one of these fun matchups you might just want to keep your eyes on all day long. I got the Steelers winning this one in Ireland, but it is going to be a close game, much closer than the Bengals and the Vikings. I promise you that. Let's get on to Sunday noon games. This game went from being, kind of a write-off to probably one of the most exciting games of the weekend. I'm talking about the LA Chargers at the New York Giants. Russell Wilson is out. That's old news. New news, headline, Jackson Dart. It's Dart time, baby, and I fully believe in the kid. He's ready. Dude, you saw him I swear, if you didn't watch my video going off on the Giants last game, I saw Jackson Dart, helmet on, looking up to the heavens, and he went, come on, man. Dude was ready to play, and they were edging the Giants fans by putting him in on run sets and having him hand the ball to Scatterboo. It's time. The decision has been made. Not only is Jackson Dart the starter, Dayball came out and said Russell Wilson is the backup for the rest of the year. This is Jackson Dart's team. Unfortunately, he's getting fed to the Wolves and one of the best defenses in the league this year with the Chargers. They got the Hellfire Henley, I call him, the heat-seeking missile of a linebacker on the defense. Derwin James, one of the best, if not the best, strong safeties in the league. See, unfortunately, since I do Giants franchise on Madden on my YouTube channel, I know the entire Giants depth chart, not even a Giants fan. Let's go to the Chargers real quick. Let me go to their depth chart to make sure I don't get any names wrong. I want to be accurate when I import these things. Here we go. All right. Like I said, Dion Henley, Derwin James Jr., one of the prime young corners you see this year, Cam Hart. He's really good. Derwin James gets down in the box and Cam Hart can just take Derwin's over. Tyre Tart, he's been causing problems at the nose tackle position, punching Travis Kelce in the face, getting in the backfield. He was, problem for the Broncos. Absolute problem for the Broncos. You still got Bud Dupree, who's getting a little old, but he's fine. And then on the offensive side of the ball, brother. Fortunately, the Giants defense is really, really good. But Justin Herbert's the MVP favorite. Omarion Hampton is ready to take this team over as his own since Najee Harris is out indefinitely with an Achilles injury. RIP, big bro. Hope to see you get back in the league at some point in time. And then, not even on the ground, let's talk about the wide receivers. Ladd McConkey, second-year kid, great. Quentin Johnston finally appears to be having his breakout year. After forever, it seems like. He's rocking and rolling. He's high pointing the ball, Moss style. He's getting over the top of defenses. Quentin Johnston's a great deep threat. You know who else is a great deep threat? One of the greatest receivers in Chargers history, Keenan Allen. Y'all saw that play? The one where Justin Herbert had to deke and dive and dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge in the backfield, and then throw, running right to left as a right-handed quarterback, a seed right into Keenan Allen's stomach while he was getting covered by the DB against the Broncos. One of the best plays of the year, one of the best quarterback wide receiver chemistry plays of the year, and that's only allowed because the Chargers have a great offensive line as well. I'm a huge Mekhi Becton truther. I loved him on the Jets. He couldn't stay healthy on the Jets. I loved him on the Eagles. Couldn't stay healthy on the Eagles. I love him on the Chargers. I need him to not be questionable on the injury report right now because he is. He's making me look like a fool. A fool. Hold on. He's not listed. He's listed questionable on their depth chart, but not on the injury report. Hopefully, Mekhi Becton's okay. When Mekhi Becton plays football games, Chargers win. Whoever is healthy for the Chargers offense are going to have a full heaping helping of Giants defensive line. I said this last week. The Giants defensive line is so good that when Brian Burns went down for a couple plays, they were still top 5 in the league. That's how good the defensive line for the Giants is. Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive tackle, nose tackle in the league, okay? Brian Burns, one of the best young edge rushers in the league. Then you got Kayvon Thibodeau, who comes in and fills in as needed. Abdul Carter, the rookie from Penn State, looking to establish himself as one of the best young pass rushers in this league. He might be able to do it against a big, tall, lanky fellow like Justin Herbert. On the backside of the defense, Bobby Okereke, he'll cover, he'll crash down, he'll rush the passer. It does not matter. He's where the ball is. And then Micah McFadden fills in where he cannot. DB wise, you got Paulson Adebo from the Saints. He can lock down a number one. He can get handsy with Quentin Johnston as need be. Tyler Nubin's proven not to be as good as I would like him to be, but then you got Javon Holland who picks up the slack. This Giants defense is really, really good. Why is Andrew Thomas on the injury report again? Oh my God. Okay. Andrew Thomas has to be healthy, all right? He's probably the anchor of that offensive line. He needs to be healthy. He's listed as questionable, going to return for the game, hopefully, but that's going to be a game time decision. I'm going to take the Chargers. The odds are not in the Giants' favor, but it would be really cool if it was like a 38-35 Chargers win in OT. I want Jackson Dart to succeed so bad. Cam Scatterboo looks so freaking good. He looks like he's going to be one of the best power runners we've seen in a long time. Malik Neighbors, probably my favorite young wide receiver in the league right now. And I hated seeing him get pissed last week against the Chiefs. It was awful to see Russell Wilson throwing the ball into the stands while Malik Neighbors is not getting looked at till the fourth quarter. You got to be kidding me. I'm still mad about it. Russell Wilson's gone and I'm still mad about it. Dude, Malik Neighbors, I hope, gets to feast with Jackson Dart in the backfield. I hope Cam Scatterboo gets to feast once Malik Neighbors gets going so they stop respecting the run. Then him and Jackson Dart can run some little option, some little 1-2 RPO type beat. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game, and I'm going to find a way to watch it. Either it's going to be on here or I'm going to have to sail the high seas, but I promise I will be watching the Chargers and the Giants play at noon in MetLife on Sunday, September 28th. But I got the Chargers winning. Let's get on to the next game. Ooh, stinker alert. Uh-oh. Titans and Texans. Both are 0-3. Someone's got to win, right? And it's going to be the Texans. CJ Stroud is playing for a contract at this point. A lot of people are talking, are they even going to pick up his 5th-year option? What? Sophomore slump is okay. Junior slump is not okay. What's CJ Stroud doing? Listen, he's had some bad breaks. He's thrown 3 interceptions only 2 touchdowns. They got to establish a running game at some point. I think they can do that against the defense of the Titans, who, unfortunately, I just don't think they're a competitive football team right now. Feel bad for Cam Ward. Calvin Ridley can't do it all. Chigo Okonkwo at tight end is not what you want to see. And then they don't have a running game. Tony Pollard is just an unfortunate excuse of a running back. I've hated him. I don't like to say the word hate. I have disliked his offensive production since he was on Dallas, and I'm really pulling for people like Nick Chubb to get going. This game is going to have a rushing attack, I hope. Otherwise, people are just going to be airing it out and throwing long bombs. Nico Collins and CJ Stroud are still those guys. They still have that connection. You saw Nico Collins get over the top last week. They still got it. They 100% still got it. They just got to have someone, a get-right game. Like Adam Sandler said, find some slack Division II team and beat the living shit out of them. The slack Division II team in this case is the Titans, and I think the Texans are going to beat the living shit out of them. Will Anderson Jr., bro, just won freaking Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is still a dog. And Cam Ward, you seen how he plays? Dude is rooted to the ground like an oak tree. All right, he gonna get sacked. I promise you that. He gonna get sacked. And what sucks for the Texans is they really are missing players like Laramie Tunsil. I was surprised when they mailed him off to Washington. Laramie Tunsil is a good offensive lineman, and you can tell CJ Stroud is missing a good anchor lineman to keep his blind side secure. You know, when quarterbacks are pressured, they make mistakes. CJ Stroud's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns this year. He's going to get right in this game. He's going to get positive this game. He's going to get out from underneath that shackle. And on the other side, the Texans defense is just good. Derek Stingley Jr., I think, is the highest paid corner in the league because he's one of the best corners in the league, if not the best corner in the league. He's going to take away freaking Calvin Ridley. That's light work for Derek Stingley Jr. And meanwhile, you got Azeez Al-Shire. He can crash down on the run. He can rush the passer. He can drop into coverage. He can do it all. He's got 25 tackles, leads the team in tackles for a reason, okay? Do not sleep on Azeez Al-Shire. Let's check out the injury report real quick. Of course, Kevin Zeitler is injured for the Titans. Brother, the Titans are a team that cannot afford to have any injuries on the offensive line, because if they do, Cam Ward is going to get killed. Any team with a pass rush is looking forward to seeing the Titans on their schedule. And I don't like to hate on the team, but dude, the fans calling for the coaching changes might not be a bad idea. You heard them chanting. I'm not even going to go. I don't like to pray on anyone's downfall. Y'all heard the chants last week. The Titans fans are getting fed up with what they're seeing, all right? And the Texans are looking to get right. And it's always good to get right against a division rival. And so look for the Texans to pour it on, light it, and pour it on again. It's going to be a long day for Titans fans. That's in Houston, too. You know they're going to show up and show out for their team. They always do. Houston is a city of dogs, okay? The Texans fans down there, they've been looking forward to something to cheer for since Deshaun Watson came out as a diddler, okay? They ride with CJ Stroud. They ride with people like Nico Collins. It sucks for Tank Dell, man. I love Tank Dell, but he ain't doing too hot, man. Bro seems to always be injured. So, man, I love Tank Dell. I just need his knee to stop exploding. I'm going to take the Texans in this one. I don't think it's going to be close. I take the Texans by, 10? It's going to be a long day for Titans fans. Let's get on to the next game. In Atlanta, the Washington Commanders are going to put belt to ass. You saw what happened last week against the Panthers. The Carolina Panthers absolutely dad-dicked the Falcons. The Falcons did not get past the Panthers' 30-yard line one time last game. That does not happen in the National Football League. Michael Penix was making god-awful throws. What happened? We saw Michael Penix in week 1 against the Bucs, superhero ball. We saw Michael Penix put belt to ass on the Vikings, completely ruining J.J. McCarthy's coming out party. What the hell happened? And that's against the Panthers. This is the Commanders. They better pray to all gods, both real and fake, that Jaden Daniels decides to sit out this game, decides to heal a little bit longer, because they might have a chance against Marcus Mariota. If Jaden Daniels is in this game, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Terry McLaurin's on the injury report as well with a questionable quadricep injury. I bet him and Jaden Daniels both play. If they both play, it's a blowout. Bill Krosky-Merritt is also listed questionable. I love the young kid as a running back. He's a great power runner, and you can tell he loves the game. That's the best part. Bill, Bills for real. He's a good young talent. I like seeing him work. And then on the Falcons, they got great defensive players on the injury report. A.J. Terrell, the rookie James Pierce Jr. You can't afford to be having these guys out, especially not after the type of game you put up last week. Michael Penix has got to get right. He's thrown 2 interceptions, only 1 touchdown. He's got a lot of passing yards, but they're empty yards, man. Bijan Robinson, one of the best offensive players in the league, probably a favorite for offensive player of the year if they can get their head out from under wherever they're sitting. I also really like the Falcons defense. Hold on. The Falcons have a really, really underrated defense. On the defensive line, Rook Aroro, he can put the work on you. Leonard Floyd can put the work on you. But I really like their corners. Billy Bowman in particular, I mess with him. I mess with him heavy. A.J. Terrell, if he's healthy, is a really good corner. He was one of the best corners just a couple years ago. I don't think that talent has gone away. It just hasn't been allowed to manifest, as you will. Him and Jesse Bates, especially when A.J. Terrell Jr. is healthy, are one of the best DB duos in the league. And now they got themselves a good nickel guy in Billy Bowman. The Falcons defense is nice. They can put up some work. You saw them do it against the Vikings. But whatever was happening last week against the Panthers just does not leave a lot of faith in the organization. I'm going to take the Commanders, and I'm going to double take the Commanders if Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are healthy. Oh, brother. I'm not even going to have to go over the Commanders defense because I'm so not confident in the Falcons offense that it's not even going to matter. Commanders win this game easily. Next game. This might be the lockety lock of the week. Oh my God. The Saints schedule just is terrible. The Saints are going into Buffalo to get fed to Josh Allen and the Bills. Josh Allen looking like the MVP part 2 is on the table for the young man. And then you got James Cook, who's probably the best running back in the league right now. He's got 4 touchdowns, 284 yards. Oh my God. And then what? Spencer Rattler's supposed to come in there and put what on him? And do what? Y'all know how I feel about Spencer Rattler. I'm hands off. I've been said what I've been said. I'm not going to beat the horse anymore. It's dead. I promise. I love some Alvin Kamara. I really do. That might be how you win this game. If you try to get Alvin Kamara going, maybe you can open up the receiver game a little bit. Got to get Chris Olave his touches safely. You got to get Chris Olave his touches safely. No hospital balls. Please, for the love of God, no hospital balls. Because Christian Benford will knock your head off. He will. He is a hard-hitting corner. I think he leads the team in tackles, and he's a corner. Watch out, young man. On the injury report. Offensive tackle. ×2. Spencer Rattler cannot be affording to have any of his offensive tackles be out. Taliese Fuaga and Dylan Radins are out with toe and knee injuries, respectively. Got to get one of them right. Unfortunately, for the Bills, they can't capitalize on that because one of their best pass rushers is out. Ed Oliver's questionable with an ankle injury. Hopefully he's good to go. A couple offensive weapons for the Bills. Keon Coleman is finally coming out of his shell. He's looking like wide receiver 1 is being earned when you put it next to his name. Also, Dalton Kincaid. I love the tight ends. I love the tight end combination of Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. And then for some reason, Jackson Hall has come out of nowhere and he's catching balls too. They got a tight end trio? Since when? One of my most favorite offensive linemen in the league, Big Schno himself, Deion Dawkins, is a great blind side blocker for Josh Allen. Him and Josh Allen, they got that connection, man. And Deion Dawkins is a dog. He'll take away your number 1, and he won't even be tired. He don't even need the oxygen machine. Big Schno stays hydrated. On the defensive side of things, if Ed Oliver is out, you're going to have to lean on Joey Bosa hard. But Joey Bosa is looking like he could take the work. He's kind of looking like one of the biggest steals of this last season of free agency. Like to see Joey Bosa get the work in. Sucks that his brother's out, though. That's really unfortunate. But one Bosa goes strong. Taylor Rapp has a nose for the football. Tre'Davious White is finally not on the injury report. Thank God. They can't afford to have any more injuries at corner. Like I said, Christian Benford, he had the clutch interception against the Dolphins, looking to find the football again. And I'm going to highlight a kicker. Prater bombs are back on the menu, boys and girls. Love me some Matt Prater. I can't wait to see Matt Prater drop another Prater bomb. Matt Prater will kick a 60-yard field goal this year. I promise. Prater bombs are back. And don't be surprised if we see a Prater bomb get dropped on the Saints' forehead. I'm taking the Bills in this one in a 14-point advantage. What's the spread? I'm not a betting man. Where's the spread? The spread, Bills by 15.5. Yeah, I'm taking that all day, every day. Total over under 47.5. Bro, the Bills might get 47.5 on their own. This is not betting advice. I actually despise sports betting, but I'm going to take the Bills in this one in a very, very decisive win. Let's get on to the next game. This is my non-prime time game of the week. The Philadelphia Eagles heading to Raymond James Stadium to play Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. The Eagles got a lot of momentum. They got the miracle win against the Rams last week. Jordan Davis running back the kick, blocked for the go-ahead field goal, running it back out of the end zone for the touchdown. The Eagles could not be riding any higher right now, except they got to go against MVP hopeful this year, Baker Mayfield, the guy I named my son after. He's got 615 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he's throwing to the future Hall of Famer Mike Evans and the current Offensive Rookie of the Year favorite in Smith-Njigba. The offense is electric. You also got the great running back swerving Bucky Irving back there. He'll take the load off of the quarterback and the receivers as need be. However, Eagles defense is great. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Zach Bond. God, the Eagles defense is so good, man. Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell are on the injury report. So is Adoree Jackson, but they're only questionable. Thank goodness for this. Mike Evans got his doubtful injury. That sucks. Mike Evans might not be in this game, and that is going to be a problem for the Bucs. Doubtful listed, estimated return on the 28th, so game time decision. But Tristan Wirfs should be coming back this game. Tristan Wirfs is one of the best, if not the best, offensive tackle in the league. He is a prime candidate for Offensive Lineman of the Year every time he plays. This is going to be a slugfest, y'all. Expect to see Smith-Njigba get at least a touchdown and 100 yards. But on the other hand, A.J. Brown's going to get to work too. He finally broke out of his shell last game. Really, what we haven't seen is Saquon Barkley dominate a team yet. And hopefully Vita Vea can stop that from happening, can contain him. Because if y'all can contain Saquon, and Antoine Winfield and Jamel Dean can contain A.J. Brown, you're going to have to take it where you can get it. Maybe Dallas Goedert gets open. Maybe Devontae Smith gets schemed open. Maybe Jalen Hurts runs the ball. You know, he can touch push, but he can also just run like a normal scrambling quarterback. Same with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield can scramble, and Baker Mayfield is not afraid to air it out. If he finds a soft spot in your defense, he will heave that hoe long and hard. Pause. Anyways, I don't want to go against the Eagles' momentum. They're looking like they're going to be a lock for at least the conference championship, if not the Super Bowl. However, I really do believe in the Buccaneers this year. I like what I see from Smith-Njigba. I like what I see from Baker Mayfield. He has found a home, and I'm so happy he's found a home. I also like the Buccaneers' defense. Vita Vea is really good. They got a good set of corners back there, combined with the safety, Antoine Winfield Jr. I'm talking myself into it. I'm going to take the Buccaneers in a close game. It's going to be a good game. My pick for, aside from Sunday night, this is going to be game of the week easily. Let's get on to the next one, who is not going to be game of the week. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Okay. The Panthers going to Foxborough to play the Patriots. The Panthers coming off of a dominant 30-0 win against the Falcons. The Patriots just barely losing to the Steelers after giving the ball up 5 times. I do not think the Pats are going to give the ball up 5 times, which is why I believe the Pats are going to win this game against the Panthers. Bryce Young thrown for 4 touchdowns, but also thrown for 3 interceptions. We've seen how people are getting fed up with Xavier Legette catching 80 million balls for -2 yards. You got to get down the field, brother. You got to. Tedero McMillan now has a calf injury. Jalen Coker's on IR. Who is Bryce Young going to throw the ball to? Who? Everyone, dude, even his tight end, Jatavion Sanders, is doubtful with an ankle injury. Who is he going to throw the ball to? This entire offense is on IR. Meanwhile, Drake May is looking like one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. He's got Stephon Diggs. You know, Stephon Diggs is playing for his life right now. He's got a baby on the way with Cardi B. His brother and them just beat up some dude because Stephon Diggs was trying to rail him. Stephon Diggs is going to be playing like his life depends on it because he might not be getting a lot of game checks in the future. You also got Hunter Henry. You also got one of the great young-looking running backs in Travion Henderson. I just don't see how the Panthers' offense is competitive at all. Harold Landry is one of the best pass rushers in the league as of right now. I don't think it stays that way, but as of right now, Harold Landry can get after your quarterback. Christian Barmore is a great defensive tackle that can take away the run, and the run isn't that big of a threat considering it's just Chuba Hubbard. He's a middling running back. He's not bad, but he's not great either. Yeah, I don't see how the Panthers, if the Panthers win this game, I'll be thoroughly surprised. I'm going to take the Patriots to win this. They'll go up to 2-2. Panthers are dropped to 1-3. Next up is Jacksonville heading to Santa Clara to play the 49ers. Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones have thrown the same amount of touchdowns with 4. However, Mac Jones has only thrown 1 interception. Trevor Lawrence has thrown 4. That's not ideal. The Niners defense, even though they are down Nick Bosa, they're still really good. They still got Fred Warner. They still got guys like Diamador Lenore who can take away your number one. And really, the Jaguars haven't had a number one establish themselves. The leading receiver is Britton Strange. Now that's strange. I tell you what. They have been relying on the running backs heavily. Travis Etienne is finally getting going again. He's their leading rusher. He's got 46 carries, 270 yards. It seems like the Jaguars are really good on paper. It just hasn't been manifesting on the field. Meanwhile, the 49ers, you think, would not be 3-0, but they're 3-0. Christian McCaffrey appears to be back to form. Ricky Pearsall, the combat veteran, is proven to be a good number one now that Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are not really as available or on the team in case of Deebo Samuel. Fred Warner leads the team in tackles. He's back to Hall of Fame form. They got to find someone to replace Nick Bosa. Bryce Huff leads the team in sacks, but he only has 2. Yeah, I just don't see Trayvon Walker getting through Trent Williams, okay? The offensive line for the Niners, pretty damn good. And if you need help, Kyle Juszczyk will come and chip whoever you need. He'll do it. Fortunately, George Kittle is out, but Jake Tonges or Tongs, I forgot how he pronounces that. I'm not going to go watch game tape to find out. He got, he's a tight end. This whole defense revolves around Fred Warner. What he says goes. He will be able to pack up Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. The Jaguars should be better than they are. BTJ. Travis Hunter really hasn't gotten going. Travis Hunter has looked better as a DB than he has as a receiver this year. They got to find some way to get a receiver schemed open. Your tight end cannot be your leading receiver in week 4. It's not how it's supposed to be, my friends. I got the Niners winning this game. Mac Jones seems to be hitting a rhythm. He really wants to win. Mac Jones really wants to get back in this league as a starter, and he's proving himself to be worthy of at least a number one backup job, if not a starter job next year if he keeps it up. Christian McCaffrey on devious timing, looking to get back in the offensive player of the year conversation. I'm going to take the Niners in this one, but it should be a close game. Browns and Lions. Now, just because the Browns beat the best team in football, the Packers, does not mean they're not going to get dog walked by the Detroit Lions. We saw the Detroit Lions do their thing against the Ravens. I just found out today that Aiden Hutchinson is 6'7" tall. That is a huge man. Okay, I thought he was just some 6'2" dude who was in the gym. No, brother is built like a Goliath, like a behemoth, a bridge troll, like a golem, like a gargantuan. Aiden Hutchinson is gonna make Joe Flacco want to retire. The Browns' defense is great. It really is. Unfortunately, the Lions' offense is one of the best looking units I've seen in a long time. That offensive line combined with Jared Goff's diagnosing of defenses and where to move protections, and he knows what different coverages are which, is one of the greatest feats of offensive engineering I've seen this season. You saw David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs on Sonic and Knuckles back in action, ready to rock and roll. Amon-Ra, I run this shit. What he said after those words that I failed the test on, I'm allowed to say it. He does run it. Unfortunately, you got to give it up to the guy. This is his league, and we're just living in it, baby. Joe Flacco is I love seeing the Elite Dragon do what he does. All right, I don't ever want to see Joe Flacco retire. He's one of the few people from my childhood still playing in the league. But, dude, the clock is ticking, and Aiden Hutchinson and the defense is here to make it tick faster. The defense of the Browns, to have any hope of this, has to get after Jared Goff. But I just think that they're going to be able to solo Myles Garrett, and that's going to be the end of that. Jared Goff is a really good quarterback, man. He's thrown 7 touchdowns to 1 interception. Jesus Christ. Amon-Ra caught 4. David Montgomery is running for 3. Just the Lions' offense is so good on top of having a really good defense. I don't see how the Browns win this game. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions in honestly, a blowout. I was reading that Rams fans were, before the season started, they were flipping these tickets. All the season ticket holders were selling the tickets to this game. Now they want them back because Indiana Jones is coming into town to play the Los Angeles Rams. Indiana Jones and Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce are looking like one of the best offensive units in football. But the Rams have one of the best defensive units in football. Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, great defensive line. All 3 of those guys make up for one Aaron Donald, but hey, it is what it is. You also got good coverage linebackers. If you ain't never heard of Ned Landman, he's a really good linebacker. Finally finding his place in the league. He's going to be doing his thing, trying to stop the offensive weapons of the Colts. I really think this game is going to be in the trenches. Jonathan Taylor versus Kyron Williams. Whoever has more rushing yards wins the game. And unfortunately, I think the Colts have the edge here because if they lock down Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones can run. Matt Stafford cannot run. If they lock up Kyron Williams, then that's it. The run game's gone. You got to find a way to get it to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. And if they know your run game's gone, they can better lock up your pass game. I just think the Colts offense is too dynamic at this point for me to say that the Colts aren't going to at least provide a challenge for the Rams. I'm a huge Sean McVay truther. I really do believe in this Rams defense. Being that it is at home, I'm going to take the Rams to win, but it's going to be a really close game. Don't be surprised if this game gets high scoring really fast. Don't be surprised if this game goes to overtime. Don't be surprised if this game ends up being one of those classic football games that probably should have been on primetime but wasn't. Indiana Jones is riding the wave. I said it before. This Colts team is all about vibes, and the vibes are crazy. The vibes are insane. Jonathan Taylor is back to Offensive Player of the Year status. Daniel Jones is looking to prove that the Giants were the problem, not him. Michael Pittman Jr. paid like a number 1 because he is a number 1. The offensive line of the Colts, excellent. Quentin Nelson, in my opinion, probably has the chops to be a future Hall of Famer if he keeps playing the way he's playing. Defensively, I got to give it to the Rams. I think the Rams can pull it out. Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer. He can do what he has to do on offense. Just need the defense to do their part, and they will under Sean McVay. I'm going to take the Rams to win this game in a close slugfest. Probably call it 36-35 Rams. I'm only going to give them 1 point. That's how close I think it's going to be. This game is at 3:05 on Fox on Sunday. Make sure you tune your sets to watch this game. Next game. That was a good rant. Ooh, I'm getting better at this. Don't know if y'all notice, I'm trying to get these done in one take. I don't like having cuts in the videos. I think it makes them less genuine. I need to get better at the way I speak. So I'm going to try to do this next one in one take like I did the last one. Next up, Baltimore at Kansas City. The Ravens absolutely flubbed an easy win they thought that they had against the Lions. Derrick Henry's fumbles are causing problems. They're not directly losing games, but they're not putting the Ravens in a position to win. And you know Derrick Henry is beside himself. He has to figure out his fundamentals and get back to holding the rock. He has to get back to King Henry. Right now he's playing like Prince Henry. He's fumbled once in each of the 3 games the Ravens have played, and he's been directly responsible for 2 of the losses. Now Lamar Jackson is playing like MVP Lamar Jackson. He's thrown for 9 touchdowns. He's always a threat on the ground. Derrick Henry is still a huge threat. He leads the team with 242 rushing yards. He has 3 touchdowns. One of my favorite young receivers in the league, Zay Flowers, is finally stepping up as the number 1, which allows the ageless man, DeAndre Hopkins, to do his thing. DeAndre Hopkins' sideline abilities are still elite. His hands are still elite. His jump ball abilities are still elite. They're going to be able to find soft spots in this Chiefs defense and put the work on them. On the Chiefs offense, Pat Mahomes has proven he's been in the gym for a reason. He's the team's leading passer and the team's leading rusher. That needs to change in this game. Madubuike, I believe, is still out, so they're not going to have that much of a pass rush. They're going to be looking to take away the pass game by way of coverage. That opens up your run game. They got to get Pacheco going. They cannot afford to have Pat Mahomes dinking and dunking and then scrambling every now and then. Damn it. Tyquan Thornton is looking to establish himself as the number one until Rashee Rice comes back, until Xavier Worthy gets his arm right. Travis Kelce, even though he's old, even though he's getting a little chunky because he's getting married, is still really good in the passing game, and he's still really good at blocking too. Don't be surprised if Travis Kelce gets himself a touchdown or two in this game. The Ravens defense is really good, but without Madubuike, they lack a pass rush. They really got to find a way to get to Mahomes, to pressure Mahomes, to make him make those off-balance throws. Unfortunately, Pat Mahomes is one of the best at making off-balance throws. I'm actually going to give this win to the Ravens in a really, really close game. I just think Lamar's dual threat ability will be able to overwhelm the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense, to me, is more of a coverage-based defense, and they don't play mobile quarterbacks well. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to be able to exploit that. And Derrick Henry is going to be able to exploit that. Zay Flowers, he's going to be battling with McDuffie all day, but they're going to be able to do their thing. ESPN has them both matched 50-50. No one knows who's going to win. I'm going to give it to Baltimore because I think they're going to be playing angry. Kansas City got themselves an easy dub against what was one of the worst offenses in the league in the Giants. I think the Ravens are for real. I think they're still a Super Bowl contender, and they're going to prove it in Kansas City at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Next game. I only had to do it once. I only had to cut once. For some reason, this is a 3 o'clock game, which I don't think it should be because I'm not a huge Raiders guy. I think Caleb Williams is finally establishing himself as one of the best young throwers of the football in the league. He's thrown 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He has 700 passing yards. He finally got his Luther Burden game going. He finally got his Rome Odunze game going. We just got to get DJ Moore going and we're set because Cole Kmet is ready to go. Colston Loveland is ready to go. DeAndre Swift almost flubbed one of the better Hail Marys I've ever seen. He got his head screwed back on straight, and he's ready to go. The Bears' offense is actually really good. You just got to be patient with the guys. You got to let Ben Johnson develop his players. His offense is not one that strikes quick. His offense is one that requires setup, and they got set up against the Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys are one of the worst defenses in football, but I don't think the Raiders' defense is that much better. Max Crosby, the Condor, is going to be a problem rushing the passer, but the Bears have shored up their offensive line for just this reason. And I think Geno Smith, he's kind of losing it, man. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and they won't give the ball to Genty. Why isn't Genty the focus of this offense? Why is Jacoby Myers the focus of this offense? You're not giving it to Genty. Brock Bowers seems underutilized. Dude, you have weapons. You're just not using them. Geno Smith should not be the focal point of this offense. Geno Smith is too old to be doing that. Ashton Genty is one of the best offensive talents we've seen come out of college since, Saquon Barkley? Ashton Genty should have more than 144 rushing yards. DeAndre Swift should not be beating Ashton Genty in rushing yards on less carries. That should not be happening. Absolutely not. DeAndre Swift's been in the league for a cool minute. Ashton Genty just got here. Now, Ashton Genty does need to get better at pass blocking. Freaking Dylan Lowby should not be coming in the game to take Ashton Genty's reps because Ashton Genty can't pass block. We got to figure something out. I think the Bears are going to win this game. It is in the black hole in Las Vegas, but I think Ben Johnson's finally hitting his stride. Caleb Williams is finally hitting his stride. Rome Odunze, 4 touchdowns, by the way, is finally hitting his stride, and it's going to be a problem that the Raiders are not going to be able to handle. I got the Bears winning this one by at least a touchdown. Let's get on to Sunday Night Football. Green Bay coming into Dallas. The return of the king. You know the vibes. You see what I got. Straight off the longbow from China. All right, let's go. Let's run it right now. Tell you what, this is really unprofessional. I need to be impartial. Let's take that off. All right. Okay. Anyways. Green Bay going into Dallas to play the Cowboys. The return of the king, the chosen one, Micah Parsons, is going to be facing Dak Prescott and facing Jerry Jones. It is going to be the Micah Parsons versus Dallas Cowboys Bowl. This game is, it's listed as Packers versus Cowboys. This is Parsons versus Cowboys, okay? This is going to be the game that decides if Jerry Jones is going to sell the team or not. After they got dog walked by the Bears, they cannot afford to have the Packers come into their stadium and whoop their ass with their old player. They can't afford it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The Packers are going to put BTA on the Cowboys. I see a quote right here on ESPN splash page. Micah Parsons says it's going to be painful sacking Dak because he already knows it's going to happen. I got Micah Parsons getting at least 2 sacks this game. The Cowboys are going to get Dak sacked at least 5 times this game. CeeDee Lamb, their best offensive weapon, is out. Javonte Williams, I think, is a good running back, but he is not going to be able to be the focal point of this offense. Dak Prescott is going to struggle. And I think Jordan Love is tired of people. You kind of hear the voices in the back. Is Jordan Love the guy? Can Jordan Love compete in close games? They just lost to the Browns. The fact that they just lost to the Browns is why they're going to whoop the crap out of the Cowboys. We got to get that loss off our record. That's a smudge on the shiny plaque that is the Green Bay Packers' great season when we go to the Super Bowl and play the Chargers in the Super Bowl. We got to get that right. Kenny Clark, who cares? I love Kenny Clark. Dude was a great nose tackle. Kenny Clark, when he had the club in his hand, was an excellent defensive weapon. But that's old news, baby. We got Rashawn Gary. We got Micah Parsons. We got Lucas Van Ness. We got Quay Walker. All right. This defense is ready to rock and roll. We got one of the best safeties in the league in Xavier McKinney. Thank you, Giants. And I hope Josh Jacobs is good to go because he's so much fun when he gets the rock, when he gets north and south, when he busts through the offensive line and hits your linebacker, when he busts through the offensive line and hits your safeties. And guess what? Safety's going to have their hands full dealing with the likes of Tucker Kraft. Matthew Golden got to get a touchdown. Got to get a touchdown this game. We need to get Matthew Golden going. He's one of the best offensive weapons the Packers have seen because we haven't taken a wide receiver in 20 years. Matthew Golden wasn't alive the last time the Packers took a wide receiver in the first round. We got to get him going. I can't afford to have another wide receiver bust for the Packers. Can't happen. But I have the Packers winning this game. It's going to be a great game. I really think if the Cowboys don't keep it close by halftime, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly fast. But I got the Packers winning this one. Go Pack, go. Dallas, eat one. Let's get to Monday Night Football. Do y'all remember back when they did Color Rush and the Titans and the Jaguars always seemed to play on Thursday Night Football, and they were both always terrible, but the games they played against each other were always really good? This Jets-Dolphins game might be one of those games. It might be teams that are so bad that someone has to win, so they play lights out. I could see this being one of those games. Tua is really hating the talk right now. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Tyreek Hill really wants to get going. Jalen Waddle wants to get going. They both got touchdowns last week, but I don't know, man. The Jets had a heartbreaking loss against Baker Mayfield, but that was one of those, like, whenever the Dallas Cowboys used to play the Packers and the Packers would always get the ball back with less than 2 minutes left, you knew the Packers were going to win. And that's what happened to the Jets last week against the Bucs, man. They left too much time on the clock. They had the miracle kick block. It was all but over, but the fat lady wasn't singing, and Baker Mayfield made it known. And they marked down there, got McLaughlin in range, and it was game over. This is going to be a good game. AFC East matchups sometimes are sneaky good. Tyrod Taylor looking to be the starter for this week. I'd like to see Breece Hall get going and vice versa. Devon Achane get going. It'd be great if we got some good fast running of the football. And I'm really a Garrett Wilson guy too. I wouldn't mind if he got himself a couple of highlight catches. He has great hand-eye coordination. His catch radius is insane. Dude has arms like Kevin Durant. He's crazy. And also finally, Will McDonald gotten going. The Jets have good young players, man, but we've been saying that since Aaron Rodgers signed with them. It sucks that they can't ever make it manifest in actual progress and actual production. Hopefully they can get it going. Someone's got to win this game. Monday Night Football, part of a doubleheader. It's going to be in Miami. Keep an eye on the weather because it's getting kind of poopy where I'm at, and I'm in Alabama, so hopefully none of that works its way south to Miami. I like rain games, but not between teams of this caliber. Let's get on to the next Monday night game. Ooh, stinker alert. Uh-oh. Y'all, I used to not enjoy the Broncos heavily. I was really invested in Cam Newton and the Panthers. I thought his 2015 MVP season was one of the best football performances of my life. And I was honestly heartbroken when the Broncos beat them in that Super Bowl. I wanted Super Cam to win. I was really invested, man. I loved seeing him win MVP, hated seeing him play the way he played in the Super Bowl. He should have dove on the ball. And I kind of had a grudge against the Broncos ever since then. That went away when Bo Nix got there, when Sean Payton got there. This Broncos team is so much fun to watch. Bo Nix, I was like, dude, is Bo Nix ever going to come out of college? Bro played in college for like 9 years, but he came to the NFL ready to work, and he's been putting in work. I really think Bo Nix is going to be able to do even more work against this Bengals defense. It's just Trey Hendrickson. There's not really anything to worry about in the corners with the linebackers. Ugh. You hate to see it, but it's true. Meanwhile, Jake Browning, 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Jesus H. Christ. And they're going against the reigning defensive player of the year in Pat Surtain. Jake Browning is not going to get any let up this week. No, sir. You also got Nick Bonito, one of the best pass rushers in the league, getting paid like it too. He has 3 sacks. I don't know what they're going to do, man. Defensive player of the year favorite, current defensive player of the year, defensive pass rusher of the year probably, and Nick Bonito. You also got a great tackling linebacker in Alex Singleton. I don't see how the Bengals make it work. Jamar Chase is probably the best receiver in football, depending on who you ask, but you got to get the ball to him, and you can't get the ball to him if he's getting locked down by PS2, or if Jake Browning is getting his head knocked off by Nick Bonito, or if Chase Brown can't get going because the offensive line of the Bengals is so overwhelmed. I think Bo Nix and the Bengals eat this team alive. I think it's going to be an easy home win for the Broncos. I got the Broncos winning this one in a landslide, and it's in Denver too. Yeah, man. Denver, prime time. It's a warm weather game, so that stadium's going to be packed. Not looking too hot for the Bengals. It sucks that Joe Burrow went down, man. Joe Burrow was my favorite to win MVP, and now he might be comeback player of the year again. You hate to see it, but I got the Broncos winning this one, and that's going to be the end of these picks. Great week ahead of us. Looking forward to watching all of this. I am a huge John Madden fan. Me and my ex-wife now, our first son we named after Baker Mayfield. If we were to have another son, we decided we would name him Madden, because me and her both enjoy John Madden as a person. I revere him very highly as a coach. Obviously, the game is a really important part of my childhood and my current life growing up. And he was always in the living room on Thanksgiving. They named the Thanksgiving football games after John Madden. So I'm going to try to do a little thing in honor of Coach Madden. If you go back and look, you learn your history. John Madden had the all Madden teams. He only did them a couple of years, but kind of like all pros, they were teams filled out with players that he would want to be on his team. Not necessarily the best at their position, but guys that embodied the spirit of football. Here, let me pull up. I got a quote for you. Hold on. I was reading up on him earlier. He said, where is it? What does it mean to be all Madden? It's a whole range of things. For defensive linemen and linebackers, it's about Jack Youngblood playing with a busted leg, Lawrence Taylor wreaking havoc on the offense, and Reggie White making the other guy wish he put a little more in the collection plate at church. It's about a guy who's got a dirty uniform, mud on his face, and grass in the ear hole of his helmet. That's what it means to be all Madden. So I'm going to form the all-ball team. Each week, I'm going to have 5 players on offense, 5 players on defense, and either 3 or 5 players on special teams. Those are going to be Barry's Ballers each week. At the end of the year, there's going to be a first team all-ball team and a second team all-ball team. And they're going to be players in the same spirit of the all Madden team. Good football players, not necessarily the best. This is a lot about spirit, about tenacity in the face of adversity, and perseverance, and grinding when the times are not easy. This is all about tough times. We're living in tough times, so this is going to be a tough time built team. I'm also going to put something together for the players that I'll be mailing out to the winners of them. I'll explain that more in the dedicated video. Just keep your eyes open for that. Yeah, that's all for this episode of Gotta Know Ball. Those are my picks. I'm excited to watch some football. I'll get this edited and out tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, so I'll get this out before Thursday Night Football. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. You are loved, as always. If no one's told you that in a while, I love you. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.